How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's AJ with Agency Power, and in today's unboxing session, we're going to be talking about the big brake kit for your Can-Am Maverick X3. So buckle up, we have a long trail ahead of us. All right, let's get into this. One of the most common issues with the Can-Am X3 is actually the braking system. It feels like you have to really lay into the brake pedal to get the machine to stop completely, and even then, if you're braking hard in each corner, you're gonna feel the notorious effects of brake fade. What is brake fade, you ask? Well, when the rotors and pads generate enough heat, they tend to lose their braking abilities due to the frictional energy being translated into heat. The result of brake fade is feeling less braking pressure when the pedal is fully depressed, slower stop times, and poor braking performance in general. The main culprit of this in the X3 is actually the thin stamped steel rotors that tend to heat up under hard braking. Since the factory rotors are so thin, they heat up very quickly and transfer that heat into the brake pads, the calipers, and even the brake fluid. Having excessive heat in your brake fluid can actually cause it to boil, resulting in a spongy pedal feel or the pedal falling straight to the floor due to the air that has been introduced to the system. And trust me, you do not want that when you're braking hard into a corner and you can't stop in time. All those components generating that much heat cause a phenomenon of brake fade and can be very frustrating for a driver since the brakes are not performing consistently. The bolt-on Agency Power Big Brake Kit helps solve this issue completely with the directional two-piece cast iron rotors, which are vented, slotted, and cross-drilled for optimal heat dissipation. Not only are your stock stamped steel rotors thin, but they're also only 10 inches in diameter. Compared to the 12-inch diameter rotors here, you'll get more braking leverage and more surface area for the caliper to bite onto and bring the machine to a stop. The ventilation vanes inside the rotor act as a fan. When the directional rotor is spinning, it creates a low pressure zone extracting the heat from the middle. This effectively cools the rotor down and provides much needed airflow through the rotor itself. Not to mention, cast iron has a higher friction coefficient, which results in more resilience towards heat in general. This will directly translate to a much more reliable braking force when the pedal is fully depressed. To capitalize on the more efficient rotors, the calipers included with the Agency Power Big Brake Kit feature a beefy 4-piston construction, and the pistons are precisely calculated to equate to the same surface area as many 6-piston braking systems. The internal crossover tube inside each caliper provides equal braking pressure across all 4 pistons. This will help the front to rear braking bias and will prevent your machine from pitching too far forward when you're coming to a stop. With your stock brakes, the unequal biasing causes the front of the machine to dip forward and exert unstable handling under heavy braking conditions. This is corrected with the Agency Power Big Brake Kit, keeping the machine level and stable, allowing the driver to be confident when bombing into a corner at a high rate of speed. To give you a comparison of your factory brakes versus the Agency Power Brake, it'll take you 5.9 seconds and 248 feet to go from 60 miles an hour to 0, whereas the Agency Power Big Brake Kit does that in a whopping 3.5 seconds and 161 feet. That's almost a 3-second difference and nearly 100 feet shorter. And as you can see, there's a massive difference between your stock brakes and the Big Brake Kit. After a few test runs and a lot of hard braking, the rotors and calipers only got up to about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's much cooler than your factory braking system. Big shout out to Rust Belt Mechanic for this handy information. Ease of maintenance is a key factor of the Agency Power Brake Kit, which is why we designed the calipers to utilize a common brake pad that can be easily sourced and replaced. When the time comes to replace your brake pads and rotors, you can find the replacement parts on our website, which I'll link down in the description below. So go check those out if you need to replace your brake pads and you already have this kit. Once these pads are broken in, you'll notice exceptional braking performance without the awful squeaking that is typically accompanied by high performance brake pads. This big brake kit unfortunately will not work with your 14-inch wheels. It is meant for 15-inch wheels, so if you're curious if your wheels are going to fit, go ahead and check out this video right here to see how the brake template works, and I'll link it in the description below so you can take a look. To wrap this all up, the Agency Power Big Brake Kit is an absolute necessity for your machine, and if the stunning looks weren't enough for you, then the stopping times and temperature ratings should be enough to show you just how well these brakes actually perform. That's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe for more content like this, and don't forget to follow our social media accounts for stock updates and sneak peeks on new products. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.